everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at my 10 favorite decks from Summoner Wars. Now, of course, I'm assuming they're going to keep making more decks for a long time, but people have been asking me to tell me what their favorite decks are, and there are now, if I'm counting correctly, 28 existing decks. So instead of ranking all 28, I'm just going to do my favorite 10, and then you can let me know what your favorite 10 are in the comments. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you my favorite 10. I'm not doing summoners or commons or champions. I'm talking about my favorite 10 factions as a whole. So let's go. Number 10 is the Sand Goblins. Now, Sand Goblins have something I like a lot, which is structures. The summoner unit itself is a structure that can move. And you'll notice that there's structures, the Rust Rider and the Bug Biter can also move. But one of my favorite things here is that you can rig explosives and put them underneath them. The main one can pull them in, but once you have a bunch of stuff underneath one of the structures, sometimes you can pull them off. Like here, after they destroy an enemy card, you can retrieve a structure from discard pile, reveal it, put it on top of your discard pile. You can also detonate something and discard your own structure, but put it and all the cards back in your hand. So these guys can keep coming back. Also, it doesn't hurt to have some fun upgrades, turret, mortar, and thruster upgrades to put on your structures as you move them around. And then having a couple cool champions, of course, in here, especially Uncle Sparks, who is his own structure and can discard the top card of your card pile to get an upgrade or a wrench unit from your discard pile and add it to your hand. So they're just fun to have these little buildings that are slowly moving around. It almost has like a post-apocalyptic feel, but with goblins. Number 9 is the Sky Spear Avians, and the birds here. And this is all about, well, the leader, Mom here I call her, because everyone is gathering around her. She has flight, and at the start of her move phase, anyone around her has flight, which moves, they can move an extra space and through card. These guys are coming for the enemy summoner, and they're going to come fast. This one has plus, and anyone next to them also has strong and has +1 strength. If they're next to the summoner, they get more ranged attacks. When you do that, you can damage someone next to you, and this one can't be forced. But that's not all. You can gather the flock and put 2 friendly units next to your summoner. Anyone within 2 spaces of your summoner is going to have the ability Blitz, where they get +1 strength. And if anyone has flight, which means they're close to your summoner here likely, they can attack through units. They also come with some cool aerial gates that when you come out of them, you can immediately move. And then some really neat champion units, including one of my favorite champions, not just because they're a cool looking blue jay, but because they have the ability of every friendly area unit on the board, which can be pretty cool. And so this is one of the fastest armies in the game. They are definitely hunting down your summoner. Number 8 are the Polar Dwarfs here. Now, the Polar Dwarfs are all about hiding and utilizing structures. So the main unit, Savara, she can move a friendly structure. I should mention the Frost Maves are +1 for each structure they're next to. Then I get back to them in a second. Bear Cavalry does awesome. They're strong, can run through enemy units doing damage to them, and this guy can boost friendly units. But what we really want to talk about is the structures. You have the Ice Golems, and you also have an event that's a structure. Friendly units can attack through this one, and Ice Golems are moving gates that can also attack. Now, they're slow, but the summoner can move them more quickly. You also have Glacial Shift, which can move your units even faster across the board. Ice Ram, after you move one, that you can attack with it. And then you can heal your structures with Ice Repair. And then we got a couple cool champions in here. I didn't mean that as a thing. But friendly structures have +1 life. What a great guy to have in the back. This might be a champion that you run to the back and hide with just so your structures are more powerful. This is all about slow-moving structures. The newest group here, Isle Vekid. I like this a lot because of the summoner. And I realize this is not a list of my favorite summoners, but a list of my favorite factions. But the summoner who has basically the combination of all the common units next to him. And when you have a Crab Knight, they're expensive, but that +1 strength and subtracting 1 as well as the other cool different people, +1 strength there, attacking again. And then they can add onto them some upgrades, which also count as abilities, like the armor here or this relic, this one damages people next to you, and you can force units away from you. And then you can even attack with your summoner twice. So that's pretty cool. And then it has just some amazing champions, including one of the strongest champions in the game, Y2, who's just humongous, or this guy who can heal 2 each round. They're just a strong, entertaining faction. Number 6 is the grossest faction, but also the most unique one, the Filth. Now, the main thing about them is they have more different commons, but most of their commons are these cultists here. And he has the ability to spend 3 boost on his turn, and anytime someone's destroyed, he gets a boost. This guy also boosts him when he dies. Here you draw cards when you boost it. This guy's a little more dangerous to you. Your opponent gains a magic when he's destroyed. But you want to kill these guys. You want to have them die to bring out one of many different mutant cards. Now, these mutant cards, they're much more powerful, but they like burst out of a cultist. They all have special abilities, and they're all neat and powerful with special abilities. And a couple of your champions themselves are also mutants. And this all culminates around one card almost, which is the Abomination, which is possibly the strongest champion in the game once he has the powers, because you can choose a mutant card in your hand, put it underneath it. It removes the damage from him, who already starts with 11, but he gets the abilities of that. So if you get the Abomination and really crank it up, it becomes the most powerful. There's just so many cool things that it can do and run across the board. You just have to live with the fact that you're definitely running a faction that's probably completely evil. My number 5 is yet another structure-oriented faction here. We have the Inventor. He can build structures diagonal to this unit, which is good because his units are all structures. Now, this one can move, but if it moves, it takes the damage. These two cannot move, but they have ranged attacks. So in this one, you're setting up almost a defensive perimeter around all your structures and daring someone to come to you. You have a couple of these heavy mobile ones that when they move, they can be attacked. They take damage. But you also can put modular upgrades underneath someone, which let them exchange places with something, or gives them +1 life. And if it would have damage, it ignores that damage. So the modulants can come down. You also have other structures you can build, like barricades and workshops, which give stuff next to them +1 strength. And then you have just gigantic, massive structure champions here, from the Helmwall to the Sprocket to the Titan. So this is a very much tower defense type faction, which, if you like structures, this is the most structure-ish faction there is. Number 4 is from the original set, the Savannah Elves. I just really like them for a couple reasons. One, I like the animals, and they have both the lioness and the rhino that are included here. But they almost put this faction in to show how the new boost mechanism would work in Summoner Wars 2. And so this guy can boost a target, move boost from them to them. And so the lioness has extra life for each boost. This guy can move extra spaces for each boost. Here you can spend a boost to do extra attacks with those units. And then you have chance, the chance of growth, the chance of entangling, the chance of power, and the chance of weaving. And these are all going to let you boost targets or do various things. You're going to use those boosts to make your targets more powerful. And then, of course, just some fun champions, including not the only tree in the game, but a giant tree that can trample. And stuff like trampling, or this lion here who you can move around with boost. If you like manipulating the boost tokens, and I do, this is a really fun faction. Number 3 is the High Elves. And boy, do I love the High Elves. They are fight together, is sort of how that works here. The Valeria the Just keeps them in line by moving anyone within 2 spaces, forcing them, but also can target enemy commons and pull them in. And it does damage if you get close to her. So she kind of like has an aura ability. And then these 3 arbiters who have tough, strong, and atone, And all of them, all commons within 2 spaces have that, as do your enemies. So you have to keep that in mind, but it's still interesting as to how it works. And of course, the attendant priest, who can remove damage from adjacent commons, so you can heal your own commons if you want to. The champions are also cool, removing damage from commons to you, or when you force away. The Titus also sort of has an aura here, and Albus the Wise. I also like the naming of all these. They have their law of sanctity, the law of loyalty, the law of liberty, and oblige, which is, again, just come on in and fight. And this is one, I like this faction because your summoner is going out and fighting, and everyone is going to be joining them in this battle. Just a lot of fun. Number 2 are the cloaks. I really like the cloaks. And in fact, Vlox, again, I'm not ranking these by summoners because Vlox would possibly be one of my favorite summoners, if not my favorite. But I love this faction as a whole. He can target a friendly unit, and he has their abilities. So that's fun. This person is also fun because they can attack instead of move, and move instead of attack. If they move 1 or fewer spaces, they can attack through units. If they attack an enemy unit, you can target someone and move them. The Rust Side Bandits are fun because you run them across the board, and then you warp back to your line to get some magic. And that's kind of, this game is just, they're speedy and highly maneuverable. You can add equipment to them, which is always fun. The hand cannon and the moto boots. The moto boots for speed, the hand cannon for ranged attacks. Out of shadows to attack somebody and move people. And then smoke bomb, where you can just pick someone who's not attacked on that turn. And then the combo of Sinsin, who I believe is the only champion who costs 0. There might be someone else. But basically, if they're in a back row, you can go to your back row to do damage. And since Dagger can switch places with a friendly 0, if you can get these 2 out, you can run around and hopefully do some damage to the opponent's summoner. And then, of course, the Admiral, just an extra attacking unit and move an extra space. Just highly maneuverable, and I love the speed that these guys can play at. This is my favorite faction, the Storm Goblins. They don't have one of the weakest summoners here, but the main thing they have is Circuit. And Circuit is basically a new rule that the game adds where every card that's next to other cards has this Circuit ability here, units next to units. And then Thrak can just do Chain Lightning once per turn to do a damage to everyone connected to him, which is cool because it makes the Storm Witches attack at 3 at that point. And this person can move next to that. This person has Lightning Strike, and then the Gust Rider ignores damage from the lightning abilities. And then you could do things like put your summoner in the back row. Pick a damage common within 3 spaces and just kill them. Add 1 to each numeral in the text of friendly lightning abilities, including your summoner's ability. You can recharge and take 2 of your Volt Swapper units from discard pile and put them next to your summoner. And anyone destroyed by a friendly lightning ability goes on top of your draw pile. So they're just keep buzzing this lightning. And then having 3 really fun, also all lightning abilities. Here, ignore damage from lightning. Lightning Spoon, this guy goes an extra 2, super fast here. And they're like zapping around the battlefield, moving fast and hitting and just doing that chain lightning over and over and over again. And I just is so fun to me. That's why they're my favorite. There you go, folks. That's it. My favorite factions from Summon Wars. Great game. And I have to say, when I was going through these, I was like, I like all the factions. There's a few that I think are good and not great. And there were so many that I cut from the top 10. I was like, oh, I like them. I like them. It does appear that I have a type. In a sense, there's 2 things you can see I really like, or 3 things. I really like things that copy abilities of others. I love that. I love structures and things that manipulate structures, and I love maneuverability and things that can move fast. That's stuff that I just love in this game. So, again, like I said at the beginning, let me know what your favorite faction is in the comments. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Thanks for watching this video. Check out our channel. We have a lot of videos on our channel. We have live videos that go up each week, from live Q&As to videos where we take a look at the newest stuff on Kickstarter, crowd surfing, to top 10 lists and more. There's lots of stuff on this channel. We encourage you to explore it. You can find out more at our website, dicetower.com. I'm Tom Vasel. Thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower.